Hey guys, it's your girl Kizzy Rock. I'm back at it again with another recording. I wanted to know, guys, does your ex want you back? Does your ex regret screwing up? Or vice versa? All right, guys, so I was speaking to a friend of mine last night over the phone about this topic. And we got into a deep conversation, one of my best friends, and I must say, I toot my horn because I don't have an ex who does not want me back. And I really didn't think about it in depth until she and I got into this conversation last night. And I was like, you know what, girl? You know what? But trust me, nothing's happening. I'm the kind of person that, for me, life is about moving forward. I feel like if God wanted us to go backwards, He would have placed our feet on the opposite direction for us to walk backwards. For me, life is about moving forward. Now, that's not saying, that some exes do not have success in mending their relationship back together. I actually heard several people say that they went back to an ex from 20 years ago and they're now more in love now than what they were at that time. So, I'm not saying that it doesn't work or, you shouldn't do it. I'm just speaking for myself. I'm just the kind of person, I'm a Virgo as well, but when I'm in a relationship, I give 100% all in the very beginning, the middle, and then the ending. So my point is when it's time for me to walk, I was always able to walk away with a peace of mind. And see, that's why it's extremely important to always do your part in a relationship. No matter if that person is reciprocating, all that you're doing, but the peace of mind will come when you're able to walk away with a peace of mind, knowing that you did everything that, you were supposed to do. And that leaves them hanging. Now they have to deal with that regret and that resentment because they know they didn't step up to the plate. So they don't have the peace of mind. And that's why they're probably calling you and harassing your nerves and trying to get you back and all that stuff. Um, so yeah, so either which way, I personally had to just realize that, at the end of the day, as I always say, life is a journey. So I don't regret any of I've been in 3 long-term relationships. I don't regret any of my relationships because each relationship gave me something that I can apply to my destiny, my ultimate destiny. So I think a lot of times people regret their relationships, their past relationships, and like they have this hatred towards their ex. And I think it's because, you guys, not you guys, but whoever is dealing with that, they could be holding on to the hurt, right? Whatever that person did. Let's say that person cheated on you. Okay, you're holding on to the hurt of them cheating. You're holding on to that pain. And I'm not to say that, hey, listen, I mean, that's a kind of, I've experienced that as well. And that is not a pain that goes overnight, but you can't let that pain consume you forever. Hurt, cry, kick, scream, do whatever you got to do. But eventually you have to start weaning away from that pain. And what worked for me in the past was, first and foremost, just understanding again that people's, other people's lack of responsibility doesn't have anything to do with you. They're not being responsible from themselves. They just do whatever they want to do. That has nothing to do with you. And I think so many times people tend to think, well, this person cheated on me, I wasn't good enough, or I wasn't doing this good enough, or I didn't have this, my money wasn't big long enough. All those are scenarios that we put into our head, our own little heads, because we're probably broken at that time. So our self-esteem is low at that time. So we start to want to carry that burden, and that's not your burden to carry. That's not your burden to carry. Unless you were the cheater, then yeah, it's your burden to carry. But but once you get yourself past the initial hurt of whatever it is that however they were disloyal to you, then you have to start looking at the fact like, okay, this had to happen. Because if this person was not the person that God designed for me, let me reverse, that God designed for me, it would have never lasted to begin with. See, again, as I always say, we choose in our own flesh. We choose what we think is good or what looks good or whatever in our own little fleshly minds. So that person was never designed for our destiny. So it had to happen. It had to happen in order for them to get you to the next notch up, to arrive to your destiny and get everything in that forever season. So it had to happen. So then you get yourself to a place where you feel like, okay, I'm over the hurt, I'm over the pain, I forgive them, or I'm in the process of forgiving them, but I'm going to focus on the fact that this truly was not the person that God has for me. And if we're honest with ourselves, when we really sit back and dissect that past relationship, I mean, we had all the signs. I mean, you may not even have been, all the way in it. You might have just been comfortable, or you might have had signs. God may have been telling you for the longest to leave that person, but because you were comfortable and, all that stuff, you stayed. But I mean, come on, how many relationships have you been in when you truly, 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 truly know that that person was not the person that God had for you? It's just somebody that you maybe had chemistry with, and you're blind. At that point, you're blind, honey. You can't see nothing. You're just caught up looking for them with a flashlight in the daytime. Caught up, gone. Can't even see nothing. But yeah, so once you get yourself to the place where you look at it like, you know what? If this hadn't happened, I would have still been stuck here in 20 more years. So now that I'm released from that relationship, now I can continue to work on myself and prepare myself for the individual that God has for me. And that will help you to stop hating that individual, And again, if you're hating them, it's because you're still holding on to the resentment of the betrayal. You're focused on what they did. They slept with my friend, or they cheated on me with the baby mama that's where you're stuck at. You still haven't arrived to the place yet. Like, God allowed this to happen in order to free me from it, so I can get back on the path at which He needs me on. I don't hate any of my exes. In fact, we still have great relationships. I mean, if I was to see them, at the gas station, we hug and, they be trying to get back with your girl, but I'm like, dude, boy, bye. Ain't nothing happening. Take care. I'm going to pray for you. But no, I truly, I don't have any hate, any resentment. In fact, God required me to go back and to free one of my exes. And listen, you may have to end up doing something like that. I don't know. God may call you to that. Let's just say if it's an ex who truly, truly will not leave you alone. Not just bothering you in the sense of, okay, I want you back, but truly they can't move forward because that spirit of, what's the word? Regret is really eating at them to the point that they truly can't move on, even when you genuinely want them to move on and be happy. Like, they may have already gotten to some type of addiction, an alcohol addiction, or something that they're trying to mask that pain with, right? And you may be the only one who can free them because they may not be spiritually inclined enough yet to know how to forgive themselves. So God may send you back to free that person. And I had to do that a couple of years ago, actually. I didn't want to do it. Trust me, I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it. And when I did it, when I say, listen, I forgive you wholeheartedly. Truly, I forgive you. And I saw the burden being lifted. And so prayerfully, that gave him closure. Of course, that made him think he was getting your girl back. Like, no, boo. I said, I forgive you. Ain't nothing happening. Go on about your business now. But truly, I prayed and I felt in my spirit, because I was obedient to what God had me to do. I felt like that gave him enough closure to be able to move on and start mending that spirit of regret. So, I just want to encourage you guys. And like I said, if there's, an ex who you're still holding on, I mean, that hate will poison you. And especially if they really, really crossed you, dealt with a friend of yours, like that's some heavy stuff. You want to bust somebody's head to the white meat, honey. But I'm telling you, that type of hate, it will eat you alive. It will eat your soul alive. Anybody that comes to you after that will feel that toxic energy from you. And you will never ever give that person a fair chance because you're still holding on to that. So that's why it's important not to enter a new relationship until you have complete closure from the last. You have healed completely from the last. Nobody deserves to have that toxic energy come into something pure. So whatever it is, guys, forgive that person. Know that none of us are human, and hurt people hurt people. So that person may have came from, a really, really bad upbringing and childhood and things that you don't even know about that cause them to act the way they act. No, it's not an excuse, but it's reality here. Sometimes people don't tell you everything about their childhood and everything about, sometimes you don't know. So hurt people hurt people. They don't know. They can love you, but not know how to love you. I'm a firm believer in somebody can love you, but not know how to love you properly. I know, for me, I know that for a fact. Some people don't feel that. Some people feel like, no, if you don't love a person the right way, you never love that person. Or if you cheated on that person, you never love that person. I mean, I don't know. I don't see it like that. I do know that hurt people. And sometimes when you take a very whole, healthy person, and put them with a person who came from trauma and just like you put those two together, and that one person who knows how to love you properly is going to most likely get hurt. But that's not saying that the person who came from the trauma didn't love him or her. They just didn't know how to reciprocate or receive that love. So it's easier for them to hurt you because they're not used to that feeling. That feeling is scary. That's foreign to them. So it's easier for them to start an argument, to cheat on you, to whatever. And I know it sounds crazy, honey, but it's a crazy world and it is what it is. That's why we need to wait on God to heal us, heal whoever he has for us. And when he brings it together, then you have two whole individuals. So never feel like you wasted time with that person or that person stole all these years from your life. No, you learn from it. You learn from it. Now you're going to apply it. You're going to apply it to the ultimate destiny. And then you're going to have fireworks. Fireworks, baby. Yes, baby. Well, guys, listen, you guys be good. Have a great weekend. And I will hopefully talk to you guys on Monday. If not, I'll talk to you guys on Tuesday. It's your girl, Kizzy Rock.